Good afternoon. This is Mike Walsh, Mayor for the town of East Hartford. This is the response section to Ask the Mayor. That's where you send in questions to the mayor's office. I read them, find out the answers, and then every Wednesday we produce a short video that goes live on Facebook so that you can hear the answers read. Today we have 4 questions, questions 90 through 94. And question number 90 comes from Tina. My problem is my street is way too dark. We have no street lights. 2 days ago, someone walked into my driveway at about 1:30 a.m. My neighbors saw this, but we were sleeping. They were parked in front of my house. There's a pole, but no light. Can you please check this issue out for me? I would like to check to see if lights can be added. And she gives me the address, but I won't give you the address. Thank you for taking the time out. So the answer to Tina is we will check into it, but it's not always that easy. We have about 5,000 streetlights in town. And first off, we want to make sure the streetlights we have are working. So if anybody has a streetlight that is out, please call it into the mayor's office, call it into Public Works. Use the My East Hartford app, which is both a cell phone app that you can download or you can go on the town's computer. It's important for you to take those steps so that we know what we need to fix. In answer to Tina's question, because we have 5,000 lights, we have to work with Eversource to add lights. They're not individually metered, so it becomes a administrative, addition with Eversource is the way to say it. So I'm not saying no, I'm saying it's quite a process to add a street light. We also have to be sure that the street light is energized or the street pole is energized so that we can add the ballast and the light fixture. So it's quite a process, but we'll check into it. What I did send back to Tina is, again, not perfect. I'm not asking you to spend any money, but I have Ring cameras around my house. They're exactly $100. I have one on my front doorbell, I have one over my garage door, and I have one in my back. The one in the back runs on solar. The one in the front on the driveway side actually is plugged into an outlet. And the one in front that's on my doorbell runs on the very low wattage or voltage that comes through the doorbell ringer. All of them provide real-time access to my phone. You can also set up what they call a perimeter. So in Tina's case, if she got a $100 camera, Ring camera, put it up over her driveway, and again, either solar it or power it somehow, she can have real-time access so that if somebody walks up her driveway, her cell phone will ultimately alert her, and then there's a permanent video. Not ideal, don't recommend it for everybody. It's my security system, and it's $100 a camera. So there's an unanticipated plug for the Ring camera. Would be much better in this application than a street light would be. So that's question 90 for Tina. Question 91, and I'm only going to give you the initial because the resident wants to remain anonymous. So this is the reply for M. Is there a way to bring attention to the authorities of people parking overnight on the side of the road? So let me answer that. When we have a complaint, the overnight officers, because you remember, parking is not legal from 2 to 5 a.m. in the road, our officers will ticket them. But there's over 37,000 cars in East Hartford. We have 8 officers on overnight. Generally, they're running to calls, so they do not proactively go after people parking on the street. However, when there's a complaint, they will go and ticket everybody within that area. So call in the street and we'll pass it along to the police department, or put it in my app. Again, use the application on your cell phone, use the application on the town website. That'll go directly to the police department and we'll take care of that for you. She also mentioned that people park on both sides of her street. There's a curve there. It's very difficult if someone is also coming in the opposite direction. Then there's somebody that parks very close to the stop sign. She did look on the East Hartford app, but did not see an option under vehicles and parking violations. If you don't see an option, please send it to my office. We'll take care of it. And then finally, you may also provide information to the people on Facebook that seem to have a lot of complaints about certain issues, that they should all download the app or go to the computer and plug them in. So M, very good advice for those in the Facebook crowd. Please download the My app. whether it's blight, illegal dumping, high grass, cars parked on lawns, whatever the case may be. Help us to help you. Use the My East Hartford app either on the town's website or by downloading it to your cell. So thank you, M, for reminding me to put out that tip. Question number 92 comes from Linda. She just reminds me that the house on Broad Street across from number 89, there's a hole in the fence. So Linda, we will go have that checked out. We have contacted the owner. They do not plan to build anything there, but we'll make sure that the fence, or at least the hole in the fence, is cleared up, or at least does not represent a hazard if someone was to enter the property. Question number 93, also from Linda. How do I get the Pulse newsletter? And according to Kate in my office, you can subscribe by visiting easthartfordct.gov and clicking on the Pulse newsletter. It'll ask you more than likely for your email address, and you could put it in. If you don't want to go out to the website, please just call my office, 860-291-7201, and subscribe to it by leaving your email address. Now remember, the Pulse newsletter is available in 100 different languages. That's the only way we're going to get this community moving in the right direction, is that all people, no matter what language you speak, have the same information to move forward as a community. So those are the questions for today, but I have some interesting factoids I think, at least I found interesting, and I'm passing them along. First off, to the residents of Rival Court, this has been a problem area with respect to flooding when there are a high amount of rainfall. We originally thought maybe it was some of the large space from Goodwin School in terms of draining onto Rival Court, but we found that there's a break in the pipe, not on Rival Court, which is great news because we just had that paved, but on Forbes Street. So we are in the middle of identifying that and planning for a fix sometime in 2023. That's at about a cost of $100,000, which the town will bear. But for the residents of Rival Court who see some flooding, number one, we found the break. Number two, we're engineering the fix. That'll be sometime in 2023. So we're looking forward to having better drainage in that area. Factoid number 2, there are 250 miles of sidewalk in East Hartford. 7 to 9 miles of that sidewalk is in poor condition. We're working on that. We're patching those that we've identified that need immediate assistance right now in 2022, but the bulk of those 7 to 9 miles will go out in a bid in 2023. Finally, there's 130 miles of what we call fair condition sidewalk, and that'll be something that's up for replacement over the next 5 to 10 years. So again, interesting factoid that I found interesting. Finally, to the update for the community as a whole. You may or may not know that we had a signal blown out on Forbes and Brewer Street about a week ago. Now, it was about 10 days ago that we had a car driving way too fast. Don't know if it was on Forbes or coming down Forest, but it ended up on its roof, narrowly missed some bystanders. I'm actually going out to visit that resident after I tape this. Narrowly missed some bystanders and took out the pole. The pole then sent a surge of electricity and took out the light. The light's $150,000. Now fast forward, a couple of days went by, we had the parts for the new light on order, and that has a considerable lead time. But a police officer with flashing red went through the intersection, and a car on the other side flashing yellow. Also, neither one of them cleared the intersection and they collided. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but anytime you have an accident, it's worthy of a discussion. People are going way too fast on Forbes Street going through that intersection. People are going way too fast on Brewer. I have at least 100 complaints about the stop signs that are out there. So number one, we fall under ASTA, which is the State Traffic Control Authority. We have briefly looked at the idea of converting that to a stop sign intersection. There are 8 criteria that the state requires. It does not meet 7 of the 8 criteria to have a signal there. However, everybody that I've heard from does not like the stop signs. So in all likelihood, we will leave the signal there. Parts are on order. We can't get them overnight. It's going to take a little while to get this thing done. Meanwhile, I'm going to create a traffic calming commission. It's going to include the police, it's going to include the fire, it's going to include public works, and it's including town engineering. I am going to ask for 2 citizens from the community, one who I will ask when I go out, and a second individual who I have in mind. We're going to bring together once a month and talk about the things that the town of East Hartford may do. I've heard of a variety of road calming. None are inexpensive, none are easy fixes, but I'm wondering if we can't do a combination of, I see the signs in neighboring communities. They say, please drive as if your children live here. It's a meaningful statement. I think we ought to take a look at it. If we link that with additional police enforcement in selected areas, if we link that with an additional social media presence, I'm hopeful that we can finally get the community to understand just how reckless, just how fast, and just how often they blow through stop signs. It's about creating a community, it's about creating a safer community. So we're going to create this traffic calming commission in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully in about a month I'll have some things to report out to you. But the goal is to get everybody to slow down and be safer. So today is Wednesday. This is Mayor Mike, broadcasting from 740 Main Street, which is Town Hall. Looking forward to taking your questions next week, and we'll see who has the magical 100th question. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.